Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Gore here, and we are live once again. Another Tuesday night live show. Guys, we got a cool show. We got a special guest tonight that's going to be joining us. I'm going to bring him in here in just a few minutes. This cat, let me tell you right here, this guy is no joke. This is an industry professional. He's a who's who when it comes to fishing line. So for those of you guys joining, which we got a lot of people joining right now, let me give a shout out to them, and then I'll reiterate what I was going to say. We got, I'll tell you what, this guy named Burr Obbett, he was one of the first ones in here. One and only. Hello, how's it going? Gary E., of course, how's it going? Raphael, glad to see you. John Shimbersky in the house. We got the Justice family, Melissa and Jesse in the house joining us. Adam Robinson, Jim, what's going on? Brujilio, what's going on, dude? What's going on, everybody? Glad to have everybody in the house. It's going to be a fun time, guys. Glad to see everybody here. Again, like I was getting ready to say, do me a favor, though, real quick. If you're watching through YouTube, if you're watching through Facebook, tag some friends. Let your people know, whether it's your uncle, your best friend, your cousin, your mama's baby sisters, whatever it is, we are live, and I've got a giveaway to rock out for you guys tonight. So I'm going to do one giveaway for YouTube. All right, sorry about that. Rex, didn't mean to throw you in just like that. I got kicked out. We're back in. So, all right, guys, what I was trying to say is we're going to be doing a YouTube video or YouTube giveaway. We're going to be doing a Facebook giveaway. I'm having internet issues. It's supposed to be back up and awesome. I lost my internet completely last week. I was supposed to go live. Apologize. We're working on it. So bear with me. But real quick, we're going to get rolling because Rex is on a short timeline, and I don't want to lose Rex too much. So, guys, let me introduce you guys to you. Rex, I know I was going to give you a little bit of a different heads up before I brought you in, but with the internet issues that we're having, I'm going to keep working for it. So, but we're going to be doing a giveaway through Facebook. We're going to be doing a giveaway through YouTube. So, guys, keep watching, keep tagging your friends, keep sharing it. But, guys, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you guys to Rex Nelson. Rex, you've been around. You're new to the KastKing family. You've been with us for a couple months now. I worked with you at ICAST, and I got to say that was a pleasurable show. It's great getting to meet you. But Rex, you've been in the industry for quite a while. You're maybe new to the KastKing brand, but you're nothing new to the industry, nor are you new to fishing line. Can you give me a little rundown, and our viewers a rundown of who Rex Nelson is and what Rex Nelson does?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on, AJ. By the way, I appreciate it, and it's great to be here. And I'm also very excited about being a part of the KastKing team. But as AJ mentioned, I've been in the industry for about 31 years. I started my career at a manufacturing company that was a textile manufacturing company back in the early 1990s. And unfortunately, I'm dating myself by saying that, but I started there and developed a brand of braided fishing line. And one could say that we were actually the first company to ever develop and market braided UHMWPE fishing lines to the market. So I was one of the guys who worked on that originally and continued to develop products all the way through the 90s, 2000s, and up until, frankly, I retired in December of 2021. So yeah, I've got a long history of textile manufacturing, long history of braided fishing lines and working within the industry. I think the last ICAST was my 29th ICAST that I've done, and wow. I've done many other trade shows, all over the world, and also in various different retail markets and various different types of trade shows as well, consumer and or trade as well.
I tell you what, I've got 8 or 9 iCasts under my belt, but you and Alan got me beat by a long shot. I tell you what, but I'm gonna keep charging and hopefully put some more notches under my belt in this industry. But it's exciting to have you on. Like I've been actually I think I've almost been more excited to have you on. I mean, we love having Brent Chapman, Cliff Crochet, a lot of the other different pro anglers across the nation in the guides. But now we have somebody on a different side of the field. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, not only trying to win that giveaway, but now we have somebody on here who knows about fishing line, like for reals knows like the molecular structures and the DNA of what makes a fishing line a fishing line. And to me, that's exciting. That's a big thing to really learn about and to know about, because Rex, you have got years and years in the industry and in development of fishing lines to know what works, what doesn't work, what's good, what's not good, why it works, how it works, and like everything when it comes to fishing, everything matters, from your lure to your line, your knot, your rod, your reel, and they all can affect each other in multiples of ways. So ladies and gentlemen watching out there, if you guys have questions for Rex or for myself, please throw them out there in the comment section. I want to see them. This is your chance to have somebody who like legit can tell you some like factual information. Like for me, I'm going to throw it out there with Rex. Like here, I'm going to throw up this question right now, but right after Rex gets a chance to throw this out there from your point of view, Rex. But knots, you and I talked before, knots are everything. When you have a failure, a lot of times if your line breaks, like we talked earlier, it's either going to be a nick in your line or your weakest link, and it's more often than so you're not. So on a fishing line point of view, after you answer a Facebook user's question for the leader line, what is the knots that you prefer to use, and what are some of the knots that you say not to use? But I'll let you answer this Facebook user's question first.
Sounds good. With regards to the leader and what type of leader to use for fluoro versus mono, personally, my own personal preference, I use fluoro always. I never use a monofilament leader. I always use a fluorocarbon leader. I like the non-light refraction of fluorocarbon, and personally, in my own experience, I've caught more fish, and I don't know if that's a psychological thing or if it's just more of a thing where, I don't know, I feel more confident catching fish with regards to using fluorocarbon, and
Okay.
I use fluorocarbon always as my leader material. I don't use standard monofilament as my leader material.
Okay, so would you say that you would feel like, for me, like the Facebook user kind of re-updated the question, when would you use fluoro over mono? Me, I would use fluoro over mono if I'm trying to go deeper or submerged, mono when I'm trying to float. You say you only use fluoro over mono because of the light refraction. Would you feel that light refraction is more important than, say, the floating capabilities or the sinking capabilities of the fluorocarbon? What's your view on that?
I kind of think that it depends upon the user, but in my opinion, the fluorocarbon and nylon monofilament, which most monofilaments are made out of a nylon or a copolymer nylon with something else, those monofilaments are going to have about the same sink rate as fluorocarbon. And because they have the same sink rate as fluorocarbon, you're really not going to get any more buoyancy in a nylon mono. So there is one thing though, nylon monofilament does have just a little bit better abrasion resistance than fluorocarbon. And because it has a little bit better abrasion resistance, which that's kind of a misnomer in the industry, people think the fluorocarbon is stronger, tougher. And yes, it's stronger, but tougher, not necessarily. No, it does have a little bit poorer abrasion than standard monofilament. So if you're looking for a really high abrasion application, you're going after toothy fish, you're going after pike, muskie, wahoo, something like that, that have really aggressive teeth. I would probably use a nylon in that application. But for the vast majority of probably your viewers, they're probably going to want to have a fluorocarbon leader.
Okay. I always kind of looked at fluorocarbon almost like, yeah, it's stronger, but it's almost like metal. You can get really strong metals, but then they become brittle, so to speak. Right. The stronger they are. So that's how my mind likes to wrap around it. So like copolymer and mono just seem to be a lot more forgiving when it comes to abuse over like dragging across rocks and trees and structure. But I've noticed you get any kind of a nick in fluoro, chances are you're going to have to me, it feels like it's going to fail faster. But I like I think that I catch more fish. I agree with you on fluoro than any other line. Like I fish with a lot of fluoro, a ton. Like it's kind of taken over. So
Right.
Here's one for you. What is your go-to knot for braid to fluorocarbon leader?
That's a great question, and one that personally I've spent a ton of time in the lab doing testing. We at the company I worked for before, we had a industrial testing machine. It was called a Tinius Olson industrial tester. It was certified and calibrated, and we were an AS 9100 company. So based upon those specs that we carried, we had to have those machines within accuracy within 1/100th of a pound. So they were very, very accurate machines. I spent a lot of time in the lab testing braided fishing lines on knot strength, and then also testing those lines on knot to fluorocarbon or monofilament leader to braid. And one of the best knots that I've ever found with the highest knot strength is what's referred to as a reversed Albright. So if you haven't seen a reversed Albright, look it up. Google it. You can see it online and figure out how to tie that knot. But it is by far one of the best knots to tie on your mainline braid to fluorocarbon and or monofilament leader.
Okay, awesome. Now here's another great question for you right here. Melissa Justice, who, by the way, Melissa Justice and her husband are like up there with Robert Greene and you know, a lot of our other high profile Gary viewers. They constantly tune in. Those of you who are just now tuning in, we got a giveaway. So guys, stay tuned. I'll tell you how that works. But Melissa asks, what is your favorite strength of braid for bass and catfish?
So it's kind of a two-part question. I don't think that you can lump them together. So, you know, if depending on the bass fishing, if you're pitch and flipping, you know, you're in heavy cover, I would go to fishing. You really want to pull those fish out. You don't want to mess around. You want to just get them into the boat as quick as you can. If you're fishing a little bit more finesse and doing some things where you really don't want to have that really aggressive profile, I would go with like maybe our 13X finesse braid in like a 15 or a 20 pound. I think that's going to be a really good choice for your bass market. Catfish, again, depends on how big of a catfish you're catching. You know, I just saw that there was like a state record blue catfish that was just caught that was 104 pounds or something. It was enormous. And, you know, hopefully those guys were using like 65 or 80 pound test. But, you know, again, depending on the catfish you're catching, I would think that, you know, bigger catfish warrants a bigger line.
Okay. And I agree with that completely. I mean, not that my agreement means anything when we're talking to the Braid Whisperer, but so we got another question. Does KastKing make an 80-pound fluorocarbon leader? Now that's a question that I don't think that we do, but you're the guy that's kind of pioneering a lot of new things that are coming. So I don't know if you can give us some little info and sneak peeks while I got you on, because I know you got to get off here in about 10 minutes at the most here, but any kind of little sneak peeks you can give us or hints you can give us without giving away the whole gambit. Do we have an 80-pound fluorocarbon leader coming that you know of? And what are some of the cool things that we do have coming down the pipe that you can kind of share a little bit of?
So today we don't have an 80-pound fluorocarbon. We are working on one. It's going to be added into the assortment probably in Q1 of next year. So okay. we have a new Covert fluorocarbon that we'll be adding into the product assortment. It actually has better abrasion resistance than a standard fluorocarbon, and its abrasion resistance is very, very close to that of a nylon monofilament. So we're adding that into the product mix, and then we're also going to go all the way up to about 130 to even maybe 200 pound for some of the saltwater guys. Ooh. So there's a cool new fluorocarbon coming down the pipeline. We have a really, really awesome, again, for those people who still use mono, because a lot of people still use monofilament. It's a really common, really common product to be able to use in certain applications. So we have a really cool tri-polymer monofilament coming out. A lot of people know copolymer mono. So copolymer is basically two. And we've got a tri-polymer mono. And you haven't heard of those. You haven't seen those on the market today. Most of the copolymers are either a nylon and a fluorocarbon combo, or just a nylon and some other type of nylon combo. So what we're doing is we're doing a nylon 6, a nylon 6/6, and a nylon 12 combo. Okay. The nylon 6 is a standard kind of normal nylon monofilament line. Nylon 6 is a little bit harder version of that, and a nylon 12 is a really super strong, high abrasion resistance product, and that's going to be made into what's referred to as a crosshead extrusion process, where you have 3 extruders in a line, and they're literally like this far apart, really close together. So you extrude the single nylon 6 monofilament through the head of the other one. The other monofilament gets extruded on top, and then the other one gets extruded right on top of it, all in succession. So it kind of goes out in succession. It's a really cool product, and it has some amazing features. So we'll have that product available. That's probably going to be a Q1 launch as well. We might even be able to do some of it in Q4, and we're kind of targeting initially crappie market, but we're going to go into some other markets with it as well.
You guys hear that, crappie market? And for those of you who don't, we lost. There, here he comes. Rex is coming back. Sorry, Rex. Sorry about that. You know what, guys? I've actually just got my internet really updated. I'm up to like way better internet speeds, but I'm going to actually hardwire everything. So I'm hoping that'll fix it by next week's show. I think I'm going to have to do that because my internet's working, but it's just something I think with the StreamYard program and the Wi-Fi, it's just having struggled. So I'll work to get past that next week, guys. All right. So while I got you guys on here, I've got a question that says, what's up with the Netflix in the corner, or have I not noticed? Stay tuned. I'm going to get through all the information. We're going to keep rocking as long as you guys are tuning in. We'll keep those giveaways going. But I'll tell you what the Netflix logo is about. You guys aren't crazy. It's legit. So we'll get into that here in a few minutes for you guys. Now, let's see here. Can I get that? There we go. All right. So let's get back into our – okay, here's a good question for you real quick. 4X braid or 8X braid or 13X braid or so on and so forth, and why, Rex?
Great question. 4X braid. So 4X braid is basically what it sounds like. There's 4 strands of fiber that get braided together, and they get braided into a what's referred to as a diamond weave pattern. So that diamond weave pattern creates a really aggressive kind of a peak and valley. So the one strand over one strand construction, really aggressive peak and valley on that product. That one is going to have, frankly, the highest abrasion resistance of any braid on the market. Most people don't realize that, but the 4-carrier braids have the largest fiber bundle, and they're going to just be as tough as nails. If you're cutting through heavy grass, you want to be able to horse fish out of whatever cover you're fishing in, that's probably going to be one of your best bets with regards to a braid choice. 8-carrier braid is going to be a little bit more on the finesse side, but really going to be a super smooth 2 over. So you've got 8 strands, so 2 over, 2 under. So 2 strands over 2 under, and that's going to continue through the entirety of the braid. It gives you a little bit more of a profile that's not as aggressive on the top. So it's going to be quieter in the rod guides. So again, a little bit better for finesse fishing, but quieter in the rod guides. A little bit longer casting distance with an 8-carrier braid. Not quite as tough and durable as a 4-carrier. Now, keeping that in mind, most braids are pretty tough and durable anyway, but it's just not going to be as tough and durable as a 4-carrier braid. So that's going to be really the difference between a 4-carrier, 8-carrier. If you're not really concerned about noise, etc., just go ahead and ship your or use your 4-carrier braid, cast that all day long. But 8-carrier braid is going to be a little bit more for finesse type fishing, quieter fishing. And then 13-carrier braid, as AJ pointed out, that's going to be your super finesse. That's going to be really where you want to have a really, really small diameter, very fine braid, super quiet, really finesse applications.
Absolutely. Yeah, that 13X, man. I use Braid. I'll use it for flipping and like buzz baits and things of that nature. I've never really used it for like drop shot, Ned rig, and finessing until the 13X. The 13X has changed my go-to. I'm using a lot more leaders. And I tell you what, like pro after pro after pro, and anybody that's ever used it always comes back and says that's the bee's knees right there. That's the game changer. So it's, speaking of game changers, I got to get a game changer on my Walmart internet, as Crappie Kev on YouTube says here. So no, guys, I literally like 10 minutes before the show started, I upgraded my internet just barely. Funny, Rex, after I talked to you, I called my internet company, and I told you my tower went down, and they fixed my tower, and now I'm barely able to get 100 megs. So I just got that, but I'm thinking it's got to be an issue with the software that I use through the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to hardwire everything coming into next week's show, guys. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully next week's show will be a lot better, and I apologize for the interruptions, guys. So, all righty. So, Rex, while I got you on, is there anything that comes to mind that you would like people to know when it, like, from your professional point of view in the industry, from working with braids and copolymer and monos and things of that nature? What's coming down from ice fishing? I know that we're working on bulk spools. That's one thing that I can kind of throw out there and sample to the people watching. Bulk spools are coming. What are some other things that we've got? Like you said, we've got that new polymer mono or tri mono coming. Anything exciting that you would like to share with us before I turn you loose? Get ready for your next meeting.
Yeah, you bet. There's a lot of great things. As AJ pointed out, we're working on developing a 3,000 yard spool. We should have those hopefully by the end of Q4, and a 3,000 yard bulk spool, which will be great. A little bit more effective with regards to reel fill and filling up a lot of reels. It certainly helps out the pocketbook a little bit there. But we've got a lot of great things going on with regards to just braids in general. We've got a new hybrid style, what I call monolithic type braid that is coming down the pipeline. Can't talk about that one too much, but it's super exciting. It's going to handle and fish very much like monofilament, but it's going to have all the performance features of braid: low stretch, small diameter, high strength. One of the features that you buy braid for, you buy braid for the coloration and the coating, just to kind of keep that in mind. So polyethylene fiber, which is what every high performance super line is made out of, high performance polyethylene fiber is hydrophobic, so it repels any type of moisture that you put on it. So anytime you try to put a colorant on it, it's going to shed off pretty quick, and that's why some lines will fade very, very quickly and other lines won't. So one of the reasons why you buy a braided line is for that colorant, which also is carried typically in a coating. So you've got a coating on there. So the longer you get the color to last on the line, the longer the coating lasts on the line, the better the line will fish. So kind of keep that in mind. So the longer the colorant stays in the line, the better that line is going to fish for the life of it.
Okay. Now, the last question before I turn you loose. Mandel asks, what makes some braids thinner than others, and are they weaker?
Great question, and not necessarily weaker from like a strength to weight ratio or just a straight pull test ratio. But it's a great question because some braids are thinner than others. And what you run into is you run into fiber bundles. So there's a certain type of fiber bundle that's built. A lot of the fibers that are built today, most of them are built in a process called an extrusion type process, where you've got a spinneret. You got this big round circle, and it's got a ton of tiny little holes all over inside of it. The fiber is melted in a gel form. It's pulled through those spinnerets, and it comes out as a certain diameter. So you get this diameter of fiber that dictates then what the diameter of the line is going to be when you braid it together. So most of the fibers on the market today that you see, the fiber, the Toyobo fiber, some of the other fibers that are on the market, they're all made in that type of a process. It's made through a simple spinneret. And those are great fibers. There's nothing wrong with them at all. But you get a very, very small fiber to bundle diameter. So in a individual bundle of braid, you may have like 96 microfilaments. One of the fibers that sets kind of most of them apart today is Spectra Fiber. Spectra Fiber still tends to be one of the highest abrasion resistant fibers on the market today. it's made in a drawdown process. So you have a feeder yarn that's a bigger diameter feeder yarn that they draw down under heat and tension and pressure, and they make that diameter of that yarn much, much smaller. But what you end up with is, instead of it having like 96 microfilaments in a bundle, you might only have 36 microfilaments in a bundle to get the same diameter bundle. That means that each one of the microfilaments are much larger in diameter, and because they're larger in diameter, they have better abrasion resistance. So you end up with a product that's not necessarily stronger, but it is definitely perceived as being stronger in real world conditions because it's going to last longer.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, Rex, I appreciate your time. We're coming up on that 5:26 hour, so I know you got stuff to do. I'm going to turn you loose. I appreciate having you on. I'd like to have you on again when we can spend some more time, get some more Q&As going. And like we talked about, maybe even having an industry pro on while you're on, and have like a nice 3, guest conversation, and just let it go back and forth. And there's so much knowledge that can be shared, and a wealth of information that can be gained from it. So Rex, I appreciate your time. Thank you for having for coming on the show, and I'm going to turn you loose so you can get back to work and keep slaving away for KastKing. So
sounds good. Thanks, AJ. Appreciate it, and thanks everybody.
Appreciate having you on, Rex. Thank you very much, man.
You bet.
Rex Nelson, ladies and gentlemen, that guy is a class act. He's a really cool guy. Like I said, I just worked ICAST with him, and spoke to him quite a bit during the show. And the guy's got so much knowledge from the industry, let alone when it comes to line. I mean, just the guy's a brainiac, man. When it comes to fishing line, he's fantastic. So a lot of cool stuff coming from that cat down the road. You're going to see KastKing. We're built as a line company, and it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better, especially with guys like Rex coming on board and just taking it to the next level. Always looking to go up, always looking to improve, not looking to plateau like my internet. So, but we're going to get that fixed, guys. Guys, we are going to do a giveaway. We're going to give away some lines. Since we're talking braid, since we're talking monofilaments and copolymers, what we're going to do is I'm going to pick one winner from the Facebook feed, and I'm going to pick one winner from the YouTube feed. And whoever I pick, you guys got to make sure you're commenting in the comment section, and make sure you like this stream, and let me know in the comments exactly what is your favorite line to use. Whether it's mono, copolymer, fluorocarbon, braid, whatever it is, let me know what it is in the comment section, and how you use it and why you prefer to. Just let me know what kind of line you love to use and how and why. And I'm going to randomly pick you, possibly you, to win your preference of fishing line when it comes to KastKing, whether it's a spool of 13X, a spool of fluorocarbon, a spool of fly fishing line, a spool of braided line. We're going to get you guys dialed in on your preferred spool of fishing line so you can try out some of KastKing's best fishing line. So we're going to get that going, and we'll pick that going into next week. So if you're watching in the rebroadcast, you're not watching live, you have a chance to win. Guys, you can watch several times, come back and comment several different times and win that way. So now, before I turn you guys loose, I got to talk about the Netflix logo. It's up there. Sorry, backwards feed. So got to talk about that Netflix logo and tell you about what's going on with that. I'll end the show on that with 2 other things. But first, I want to go ahead and tell you guys about a cool product that you guys may not have seen that is out there. So let's go on to this, share this screen. And we're going to jump over here with this one and share. Boom. Here we go, guys. So, guys, back in stock and new and improved is the KastKing Blowback Backpack. Now, I have one of the previous models of the Blowback Backpack. So it's still everything you love about it. It's a lightweight sling fishing tackle bag that also has the molly straps, lots of different storage. You guys can put your favorite water bottle strap, a lot of different pockets on pockets and pockets, like Joel always says. You can get your fishing rod attached to it. But one of the great improvements you guys are going to see over it is the new actual sling strap is improved, okay? So you have a difference. Instead of having the smaller shoulder strap, you have now a larger padded strap. So this is going to be a great option for you guys, more comfortable. It's also got the nice back on it to help prevent sweating. And nobody likes sweat back. Nobody likes that icky back. So that's going to help. And then, of course, a more comfortable shoulder sling that goes over the chest, more shoulder support. That's going to be nicer when you guys are transitioning and going down into creeks, ponds, streams, hiking around. This is going to be a cool, lightweight little pack that you guys can use that. So $32.95 comes in a multitude of different colors, guys, that you can choose from black to the desert tan, the olive green. Then you get your different colors of camo, and then of course the black and white camo. So the $32.95, guys, check that out. That's a great deal to get onto. Want to tell you about that, but then let me tell you guys about this. So Netflix, you guys are all asking, you guys want to know what is the story with the Netflix logo. So I've got to tell you guys, I'm going to give you the first verbal announcement. We've got something going on in 2023. In 2023 is going to be the release of a season and a new show featuring the host of the Meat Eater show that you guys can see on Netflix. You guys are going to love that, and featuring KastKing. So you guys are going to want to keep watching all of KastKing for news and a sneak peek of that show as it gets released. I can't tell you too much more until more information comes out, but KastKing is going to be featured on a series on Netflix with the host of the Meat Eater show that you can watch on Netflix now. And we're going to be seeing these cats catching some monster fish, some amazing species using your favorite KastKing gear. And it's going to be featured all throughout the show. So you guys are going to want to check that out. It's coming in the 2023 lineup for Netflix. Exciting stuff. And I can tell you right now, I've seen photos, I've seen videos. There's a lot of stuff happening, and it's been getting some serious work done. So it is awesome. You guys are going to have to check that out. Now, before I turn you loose, I gave you guys a sneak peek of a video. Let me go ahead and get this going. Where did it go? It's hiding from me. Right here. Here it is, guys. So I'm going to play this video for you guys right here. So that was the sneak peek video. KastKing has got some new bad weather, harsh weather, cold weather condition gear for you. So whether you guys are going to be on your bass boat, on your big V-hull, out on the bank, and gnarly weather conditions come in from cold, rainy conditions, whatever it may be, 100-mile-an-hour gear as you've seen it at Bass Pro Shops, we are going to be having our own line. I'm sorry about that, guys. We almost got through it, but I'm going to turn you guys loose. But yes, guys, be watching for that. We got the new Netflix show. I'm going to have my internet fixed by next week and hardwired, so this doesn't happen as much. God, I apologize, guys. Hang with me. I will work to get this taken care of. I do believe it is a software issue that is not liking the system, but I'm going to hardwire that in so it slows that down. But guys, keep watching. New series on Netflix coming from the makers of Meat Eater featuring KastKing gear. We've got the new harsh weather condition gear coming for you guys. And of course, that blowback, tackleback. Guys, my name is AJ Gore. Keep watching. Guys, make sure you're commenting on how you want to use that fishing line. What's your favorite, whether you use braid, fluoro, and how you use it. That way I can pick you in the comment section to be our lucky winner and get you guys dialed in. Guys, you definitely want to get hooked up. Can't win if you don't play, and commenting in the comment section and liking this video, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, one winner from each is how you play the game. Guys, my name is AJ Gore. Make sure you're following KastKing on TikTok under KastKing USA. Make sure you're watching and following under Instagram on KastKing USA, as well as KastKing Community, 2 different pages to follow. And if you're watching right now, you already know KastKing on Facebook, and then, of course, KastKing on YouTube, guys. I'll see you guys next Tuesday night. And don't forget, Nikki's going live, so check out her show. And, guys, I promise I am going to do my darndest to fix this internet issue. And I can tell you what, it's costing me a pretty penny, but I want to make sure that I get it taken care of for my viewers. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys next week.